But first, just last week we heard how the nursing home industry in this country was seeking to fill almost 500 vacancies. But it seems they are not the only ones crying out for nurses.
A shortage of nursing staff in New South Wales in Australia means that the search is on here for Irish nurses to fill 200 vacancies.
Well, Australia have had a new labour agreement, which means there are 1,400 new jobs in New South Wales over the next 3 to 4 years. And what's happened is they know there'll be an immediate shortage of 200 nurses. And the experience and the professionalism of the Irish nurses who have gone before has made sure that the New South Wales Department of Health is so anxious to recruit Irish trained nurses that they've come here on a dedicated recruitment drive. So we have 200 positions in New South Wales that we're hoping to fill in the next 6 months. While we've had a steady flow of people, and I thought we'd fill 200 jobs certainly in Dublin and we'd have 3 or 4 days of interviews, it's been a little bit slow on the uptake, so people are probably looking at all of the options before they move forward. But we have 2 full days of interviews now in Dublin in September, and we're hoping maybe to fill up a third before the interviewers move on to the UK, where they're doing some follow-on interviews, and if they don't have enough people they move on to America.
Joining us now is Margaret Cox of the I.C.E. group and nurse Amanda Cannon, who's emigrating to Australia in January. You're both very welcome to the show. Margaret, Irish nurses still in huge demand. Why so?
I think it's because of the training that we receive here, the personality of the people, the can-do attitude, and their willingness to work hard and to embrace all different types of cultures and learning new ideas and things like that. And it's very much welcomed in Australia, and there's a huge cultural bond between Australia and Ireland, and that makes a huge difference down there.
Is our nurses training similar to the Australian model?
Indeed, and that's one of the reasons, Martin, that there's such a connection between, because way back when we were moving into the university sector with the nursing training, there was a great modelling done on the Australian market as well, and how they did it in the Australian universities. So there's a great connection between the two educations and the trainings, and that's well recognised by Australia when they look at the Irish nursing system.
Tell us about these 200 posts. What type of positions are available and where exactly are they in New South Wales?
New South Wales is a really interesting state because you've got the beautiful city of Sydney and you've got downtown hospitals beside the Opera House, beside Bondi Beach, so you can have that lovely city feeling beside the beach, the beautiful weather, the parks and whatever. And then you can have the community type nursing in the outback, so it can be really like the nurses and doctors on the aeroplanes type thing.
The flying doctors.
Flying doctors, yeah. Exactly. So it's like that community facilities in the rural outback. So you have a mix of all sorts of opportunities for nurses. They're in general medicine, they're in surgical, midwifery, mental health. So the whole range of nursing opportunities are there because there are so many jobs there with the change in the ratio of the nursing hours for nurses over there. So there are more nurses, less patients and better paying conditions.
Okay, what about the hours?
Well, the hours are great. I mean, the great thing about Australia, and I suppose the development of the profession there, is it's a great work-life balance over there. They tend to be very much focused on, well, how can we make life and work very much balanced? So you still work the same number of hours as you would perhaps here, but very much in a balanced perspective. So great opportunities like that. And the paying conditions, they say in Australia that the New South Wales nurses are the best paid nurses in the entire country of Australia because of this new nursing agreement.
What type of pay are you talking for one of the entry-level positions?
Well, the pay would start at about $51,000, but it's very difficult per annum. It's very difficult, I suppose, to say what the pay is for every single person because it very much depends on what your education is, what entry level you're hitting in terms of experience and so on like that. So it's very varied. And then there are different shift allowances and different payments that nurses would receive on top of that.
But some of these jobs, would more of the jobs be in kind of very rural areas than they would be in Sydney, let's say, for example? I mean, are these nurses going to be going off to the boonies, essentially?
No, not really. And I guess it's this particular campaign is different perhaps than other campaigns have been because every single ward and every single hospital in New South Wales has gotten extra nurses. So the choice is there for the people, for the nurses, the Irish nurses going down, depending on what it is that they're looking for. Some are looking for a great chance to develop their careers. Some are looking for a lifestyle choice. They want to be in a city centre. Some want to be more in a community rural setting where they they have a broader range of experience. So it's different this time than it has been in the past when we've done recruitment campaigns for the boonies, but this time we have a great choice.
Okay. How did I.C.E. get involved in this?
We're involved with a partner agency, Professional Connections. We've been involved in recruiting for Australia for about 12 years now, and in fact one of the reasons we got involved is because at the time our Director of Recruitment had come back from Australia. She had been a nurse herself in Australia, in Ireland, went to Australia, moved into a different career in Australia and then came back to us working. So it was just one of those quaint Irish things. You start to make connections all over the world, and we've been doing it now for over 12 years.